Alright, so be careful. Try not to touch anything wrong. And hope for the best. That's all we can do. Alright, so this is the... We're definitely not going to extend the time or anything. We gotta just get through... We gotta burn through it, and we gotta see what happens.
But before we leave...
Yeah.
I'm just quickly refill my arrows. I'm gonna refill
You
my...
have never used that many arrows. Unless it's like, why are you stocking up on so many arrows? Let's actually go look. How many arrows did you use last battle?
I had 5 rounds of arrows.
Okay. How many are you down to?
3
You have
rounds
3
of
more
14.
rounds.
Yeah,
Plus
but we're
14
going into a
arrows.
city.
Yeah. Well, what, you plan on killing everyone? Killing
I'm
a
planning
city
on
of
fighting
almost
my way
2,500
back out.
guards and more?
Trick back out of the city if I have to.
Okay.
I would rather have enough arrows just in
Alright,
case.
whatever. It's like so much for diplomacy. It's planned for the worst anyway.
Always.
Ah, shit.
Oh, that's
Oh,
11
there goes my browser again. Oh, there we go.
That's minus 22 favor.
A desperate struggle just to keep everything stable.
Back at 5 rounds.
Alright. How much did you wait? You didn't roll for how much it would cost.
Yes, we did yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. That's not today. Prices change. So you have to roll a d20. You thought you'd get away with that, didn't you?
Oh, even
It got cheaper, so it's like, yeah, roll the dice. You never know. So 9 favor each.
Oh.
Okay, so now you're filled with arrows. Okay, so what about Annabelle? Do you have any other thing you need to do?
Can't think of anything.
Okay, so
Eat.
yeah, food would be nice. So is everyone going to eat before you decide to... You have to get 3 meals, which is another d20. Shit, I hit the wrong button.
Well, that's a lot.
Huh? How much? 19?
19.
Jesus. Some meals going up. Watch, you're going to get boned horribly. So that's 60... It's approaching 57 favor?
57, yeah.
For all 3 meals. You guys... Okay, so you don't have the choice. So, you couldn't spread that out. So you are just having a big meal in one sitting, which could be potentially health problems. You never know when you're going to get another good meal, though, so that's your counter to that.
I'm gonna ask him if he could give us meal with us.
What, Snakeface?
Or we could-
That is your
yeah,
meal with
so
you.
we could eat on our way.
Oh, you
No,
mean like
so
extra
we could eat
rations
on our
for the
way,
next day?
yeah.
No. Because he can't give you anything that wouldn't spoil within a day, nor do you have storage for yourself to actually store that.
Right.
Plus, it's like, he can't really provide a lot of food, because not a lot can be... You don't have agriculture or hunting in this area.
Wait. What? How do I have...
You have a food supply. Oh,
Where's the
speaking, yeah, you
food?
do have agriculture, sorry. Because you have food supply. Okay, so food and water. So wells are your obvious water supply. The source of food is... It's not enough to have extra rations. Like, it's basic needs. If you
Alright.
want to get better, you have to upgrade your infrastructure. So you can afford to get more food.
Alright.
Surplus. Currently, you just feed the neat. You don't feed the any surplus to buy it. Okay, anyway, so...
Let's head out then.
So, Onar's not coming with you. He's going to stay behind.
Wait. How are we supposed to...
How are you supposed to read the map? It's because it's a 50-50. It's, if he comes with you... Let's see, what is his... His explanation is, you know... Part of him doesn't want to go. Because, you know, these are his people. And a part of him says this could be against it. Plus, the tunnels are anathema to spirits. So if he tries to go in there, he may not come back.
Could you explain... At least explain me the map.
Okay, so... He can give you somewhat pointers, but he can't give you the whole. So each one, it's going to be a chance that you can understand it. It won't be full understanding. He can give you some pointers, and he can tell you, all right, like he can. The most he can, maybe he can translate it. Hold on, let me, because the browser just whacked out again. It's like I said, my machine is just struggling in vain to keep stable. So he can translate the map into a form you can use.
Alright, that's a good thing.
But it's like he's pretty much, you're on your own. He can't go with you. So you'll know the path. That's so he just dissipates. So, oh, there goes the. It's struggling really hard now. This is terrible. I can barely roll a dice without it. Did I roll the dice or did it not?
Yes.
Okay, so
99.
Fico's going to give the reason we haven't really been exploring is because, like they said, the tunnels are becoming anathema to spirits. We can't really go in there, and we can't really analyze ourselves without risking our souls, and I wouldn't risk any of my own for that. So, sadly, you will be on your own. You cannot rely on the spirits to give you any sort of aid for this.
Just a question from me to Fico is like, has Lord Trinket made this way back yet? We leave for the tunnel. Oh well, I'll walk over to the hatch.
Hatch. Okay, so what do you just try to open it, like with
Yes.
your hands and just?
Well,
So
that backfired.
okay. I can't see what backfired yet, so hold up a second.
You rolled a 31.
Okay, so yeah, that backfired. Oh god, it's horrible. I think I just lost everything.
I take a bet.
See if it needs to be, like you need to be unholy to open it.
Okay, so you're gonna try the unholy arts on it. So you did.
Blue Dragon.
You were manipulated. Okay, so welcome to the. Very dark in here. Let's see if I can turn on the ambiance.
Oh, there we are.
This might risk a lot just by turning on the ambiance.
Probably not the best bet to do then.
It's a trap.
Fuck it, let's just do it. So ambiance is on. It's a wet, damp cave as usual. It's not really like you hear like there's water around you all the time. But the walls look pretty solid. Like they look like stone, but you look closer and it doesn't look like stone. It's really just it's very a very well wrought metal, but it looks natural. So D100, how much far do you see ahead? Do you see to like the end of the tunnel? So you do see decent distance. Well, that's Sains anyway. Annabelle, what about you? Can you see as far as Sains? No. So Sains will likely be the one in front, and he'll lead the way onwards.
I'm also the one holding the map, so...
Yeah. Oh, wait, are you just... What?
I'm also the one holding the map.
Yeah, you have the map. So just lead on. Just go down the tunnel path. Okay, so, and then there's a bank to the left, and then you go that way, and then D100 again, just to see.
Nope.
So it's getting harder and harder to decipher because, like, there's barely any light in there.
Chief, do you
So
have
it
a
looks
torch
like
on
a...
you?
Okay, does she have a torch? She doesn't even break stride, she just pulls out a torch and just lights it. Like, she just strikes it across the wall and it lights itself. Does that enhance your... Oops. That does not enhance your vision, though, because it's still pretty black in there. So you're just walking, like, you're just kind of feeling your way. Though what's worse is it's a completely black tunnel from floor to ceiling. So it's like you're walking on... You basically feels like you're walking on nothing. Very unsettling. Okay, so D100 again. What do you see up ahead? Okay, so you see that this area terminates into like a massive chamber. And the fact that this is all underneath the temple is just like...
This is just...
You haven't even... This is just beneath... actually, D100, can you tell how far you've gone? No. So you don't know if this is beneath the temple or if this is not. It's like, you feel like you've been traveling a while. You may not have traveled that far, though. Who knows?
You see Bane. I was born in the darkness.
Okay. Roll encounter.
Nice.
I can't see... There we go. My audio service is not running. That's not good.
Oh.
Oh shit. Ah, myself.
Well, we've found the name for it.
Let's all just walk behind each other and follow. And then we just...
Trying not to fall, because you see, like, you look and there are edges. Like, you see that it's like straight down edges. So you come up to what seems like a solid wall. You're gonna have to try to get through it. You don't quite know how, though.
I cannot see. My
What do you mean you can't see?
Like, I can't see Annabelle or Chief.
They disappeared again? Can they see him again?
Yep.
See them now. Okay, so... They move. Okay, so... Sains is in front and it's single file, so nobody else can really shuffle by without falling over the edge, so you're gonna have to break open the door. Or try something, I don't know.
Apparently it worked.
So what, you just put a foot to it and just smash it open?
I touch it with my blades.
Okay. So,
Just-
how so?
just
Like,
touching.
how is touching them gonna break it?
Does it have to be broken?
Just touch it with the blades. Now the doors open on their own, so you touch it with your blades and they just open.
Hmm.
It was a solid rock face, and then all of a sudden the solid rock face just disappears.
Interesting.
So,
Holy
Right.
crap, I'm
likely
caught.
it was
I
an
got a rope for
illusion.
them.
Yeah, but like I said, likely it was an illusion.
Still,
So you just kind of dissolve the illusion with your blades. So you just kind of walk on through. So D100. How are you doing on the whole? So that chamber led to another chamber, and the chamber is about the same size. So again, you might want to look at your map. This
Encounter?
time there's almost no hints.
Nope,
Like
no
the
encounter.
map does not, no encounter. So you're safe. So the map does not look like this chamber at all. Like there was nothing on the map that said that there was another chamber in here.
Oh, shit.
So D100, is there any hints as to what you should do?
Nope.
So no. So it looks like the other chamber. Like there's just a bunch of. It looks like a path you have to follow, but you can't quite see the path, and you don't have a map to guide you. So you might have to just do it manually.
Well, if there are any pitfalls, crawling should help.
Yeah. So Annabelle advises that you crawl the path instead, so that you're close to the ground and you can kind of feel with your hands where the pitfalls would be.
I'm gonna do that.
So D100, let's see if that method works. It does work. Okay, so that's Annabelle's bright thinking. And so you crawl the whole way. Let me draw the path you take. You crawl the whole way if you just go. Okay, so you have to crawl down here, you go back in a corkscrew. You actually do sort of a loop onto itself and then back forward. The loop was there to confuse you, like you went around the path and then you realized, this might be just keep going forward. Don't try to make any turns. And you just find yourself at the end of the path. So, that's another D100 too. Okay, you guys can move yourselves. Hold on, let me reveal more land. So, you come across another bottleneck. It's really just there's a path upwards and then there's a path forward, and it looks like just another wall. Okay, so that's D100. It's like, is there anything on the map about this? Yep. So after that chamber, it seems like the map, it goes back. It's like, okay, the path you need to take is the one upwards, because the one forward, although it's mystical, you can get through it. It says that there's like either a guard outpost is supposed to be there or something else. Like, in short, it's just you don't quite understand it. It's a skull and crossbones, but you have a pretty good feeling you're not supposed to go that way. So you're going up. Okay, so that's D100, and the path. It's still going forward. You keep winding a little bit further. And you're winding this way. And then you'll hit the end, and then you have to D100 again. So do you just want to do two simultaneously so that you're always checking the map all the time?
Yeah.
Okay, so the path that says is just don't go upwards, because there might be something there. So just keep going straight. Okay, so then do another double. Okay, so you see what's in the chamber. Roll encounter. It's a massive chamber.
Of course.
So obviously. So can you respond though? Do you have enough time to respond? Okay, so you have enough time to respond, and your instinct immediately is to grab Oso and hit the deck, and then Annabelle, are you going to follow suit?
Yes.
Yeah, so... And then you just see a barrage of dark energy bolts just fly over your head. Now, here's the hard part. There's almost no cover. There's just a straight hall, and there's nothing to... No cover where you're standing. Is there any cover in the room, though? D100. Alright, so ideally you have to try and crawl forward because there are pillars in the room that you can hide behind. So let me draw them out. So these are the closest pillars you can hide behind. So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try to crawl behind one.
Okay,
Actually,
so-
we are already behind one.
Well, from the angle of fire, you're not, because you're getting shot at a diagonal.
Then we're gonna crawl
So
next to it.
you're pretty much you're crawling and you're dragging also, who's also trying to crawl forward. Annabelle, what are you gonna do? You're in the open now, so you're gonna do the same. You guys are not. Luckily, you guys they're low enough where you're not gonna get hit. Like they're firing at where you were, and they're trying to hit you, but they don't have a good angle on it.
Do we know where
So-
these people are?
Okay, so the shots are still pummeling at your cover, and chunks of masonry are falling off from the energy impacting. You can D100 and see. It's like, do you know where the shots are coming from? So Annabelle, you do a quick Sains. As soon as you whip your head out, a bolt of energy is flying at your head. So you have to whip your head back. And Annabelle does while they're distracted with Sains doing that. Annabelle takes a look. Do another D100. You actually see where the shots are coming from. Okay, do you see the shooters? It's another D100. Okay, so okay, that makes it easier.
I see everything then.
Not everything. You just see what's shooting at you.
So
at the end, you see these large black dragons, and they have their lances extended like rifles, and they're shooting dark energy bolts at you. There's at least 6 of them, and they're like in volley formation. I mean, like they're holding their lances forward like two-handed rifles, and they're all just holding it out, looking for whatever is. And as soon you whip your head out, and they're already trying to point it at you to shoot your head off. And then you whip your head back, and that's when the bolts fly.
Turn to Saints and say, they're black dragons.
Great.
You're gonna have to think of something fast, because you can hear that they're moving. They're starting to move closer to your pair. You feel like the steps are getting closer to your position.
So do we want to be friendly or just attack?
So,
Try not to attack.
okay, so what are you gonna do? I mean, they're moving closer to your position.
Do I have a white cloth on my person?
D100. See if does either of you have so you can wave a white cloth.
I just
So are you going to though?
try to do that without sticking my hand next to the pillar out.
Yeah, as soon as a little bit of white comes out, they shoot it. So that didn't work. Let's see. You're lucky that you basically let go of the cloth before the cloth was consumed by dark magic, so you're fine. So that plan didn't work.
At that point, I'm just like, we don't want to fight you.
Okay. There's no answer there, but you still feel that their footsteps are coming forward. Quickly, you're running out of options, and they're getting closer.
When my boss hears about this, he'll be real pissed.
Still no, so they come over, that did deceive them somewhat, but what is deceiving them is, they're pretty much calling for you to down arms and surrender. Instead of just shooting you outright, they're just saying down arms and surrender.
Hey.
Okay, so, all the guns immediately just line up on you, and they're closing in, but their guns are, mounted and ready to fire if you make a move.
I'm pretending to have a limp.
So, and you see that one of them is giving the other one orders, they're saying, go around this side and go get the other ones.
and just putting my blades back to where they were on my back, and don't take any out.
So what are you trying to deceive them into thinking?
I'm pretending that I have a limp and I need, like, the walking stick to walk.
Okay, so like so they won't take that. But they're wary of you. They don't know what your intents are. So these three come around the edge and they have their lances held like rifles. And you see that now you get a closer look. You don't quite understand the mechanism, but you can tell that these lances are not just lances. Like they look like they're channeling staffs. So like they're pretty much surrounding you, and they have their guns ready to fire if need be, and it's like they're saying, "You state your business here."
We just want to get into Funoos.
Yeah. It's like no outsiders.
We have a friend inside.
It's like, and who is this friend?
What was his name? I
Annabelle doesn't remember, so.
Captain something.
Okay. So it's like you're gonna have to come up with a better lie than that.
I think it was Shun.
So it's like, how do you know the captain? Because now they're thinking, okay, all right. So you know of their captain, which means you have insider knowledge, which puts them on guard. So now they're really watching you with their rifles.
He's an old friend of his family. I'm sort of pointing.
It's like, and so like he looks at the furthest one, and then that one just starts he starts bounding the other way. And it's like, we need to get confirmation first. You need to come with us.
Go.
So like they're starting to they're two pretty much one of them is leading you forward, and the rest are falling in behind you in case you try to run. So you need to follow the center dragon because he's the one that's going to lead you to the. So let me draw it in. So you see now that you're crossing the battleground that they have like an outpost at the end. So like it's pretty solidly built. I mean, like it looks like it was built to house fortifications. So they open a door, and it looks like there wasn't a door there to begin with. He just taps it with a claw, and the door opens. So, and it's pretty nicely furnished. I mean, this place looks like, alright, if you're going to be stuck underground for a long time in a guard position, this would be a nice place to be in. It's very nicely furnished. I mean, there's carpets. It looks like there's sort of light coming in, so it means you might not be that far below the surface, or it might be artificial. There's things like there's a stove at the side to keep the place warm. There's food on the table. There's a pantry and stuff, so it looks like it's a habitable place. It's not just for guards to be stuck in. So, like, he motions for you to have a seat, while the guards, they'd pretty much just nudge you into position, like the seat in the middle of the room. So, oops, what just happened?
Huh?
Okay,
so like right about here is where you're going to be. They're telling you to sit, and they're pretty much flanking you with their rifles. They're at rest, but you can tell that they can raise them as soon as they need to. So it's like, we've contacted the captain, but we're going to need names.
Tell him my friend Sains has come.
It's like, and that immediately gets his attention. And so, like, he marches over and he looks, like, directly at you. And that pretty much, it's like, wait a minute. So it's like, and, like, he turns over and he says something in Draconic. Do you understand what the Draconic means? So, you understand Draconic, and he basically says, like, okay, I guess Annabelle. Annabelle, are you just mastering linguistics?
Well, I've lived for thousands upon thousands of years.
Yeah.
It's useful to know
You've
how
learned
to
some
speak
things.
to people.
Okay, so she pretty much turns to him and he says, we found them. I know it sounds crazy, but we found them. So and so like he's responding back, you know, who do you mean? And he's, you know, this is Sains. This so we found them. And so he says, you need to come with us to the main city. There's some people that want to meet you. So that's bad, because that's good or bad, I don't know. It's they know who you are, and they know what you represent. So
I'm just gonna be on guard.
okay, so it's not a matter of you have a choice now. It's you need to come with us. It's you don't get to walk out of this free. Now we have to take you to the city. So like the guards motion for you to get up, and they're gonna lead you out.
I'm just at the ready in case something bad happens.
Okay, so
And I kind of not.
you
not
guys
to
have like they're leading you down the path, and you have almost no idea where you're going. I mean, without a map, like you look at your map and you try to keep up with where they're leading you, but it's so confusing trying to figure. Like you go both vertically and horizontally. Like there are parts where you're climbing tunnels. There are parts where you're just walking straight lines. There's a part where you're going along those weird winding paths, and they're walking it sure-footed like they've done it millions of times. Like the same paths where you had to like crawl and feel your way through, they're just walking through it like at a brisk pace and just expecting you to follow their footsteps.
I deliberately make it so I can't follow at the same pace as them because of my limb.
Yeah,
So you're just trying to disguise that you have a weapon.
So I'm always
now I
like
have to
falling
go.
behind.
Yeah, so are you well, she is trying to like hold you upright. Kind of she's playing along. She's like, "Alright, so just she's carrying the staff, and she's like she's letting you hold on to the staff, but she's like got you on her shoulder." Alright, I just realized I did not of all the maps I did not create that world map. So I need to go back and grab it.
well.
I have the map. I have the map we're going to use, but I did not put it on the main world map, like the one we play on, because you're going to arrive in the city.
Well, that was a rather quick trip. But I don't like it.
How long did it take? It's like, did it take days? D100. It took days to travel, so it's a good thing you didn't have food, so they brought along food for you to eat. Could you palate any of it, like the food that they eat? So it's really hard because they have an iron constitution. I mean, seriously, they can eat pretty much like it's food, but it's barely palatable. Like it's not designed for
Outside.
nicety. It's not designed for outsiders.
So I'm like bringing up friendly conversation with the guard next to me, just like, you know, I've eaten rocks that taste better than this stuff. How do you stand it?
Okay, so it's like you eat what you eat in the field. We get more comfortable meals when we're in the... So like they're actually giving you exactly what the explanation is. Which is, you know, we eat what we eat, and we get better rations when we're actually in town.
Oh, that's nice of them.
So... So it's like they're pretty confident like that, you know, this is not confidential information. Somebody worth something is asking. It's not just a random outsider trying to ask information. This is somebody who they need to, like, at least marginally respect until they're given orders otherwise. At least that's what they're told. So I'm going to move you now to the world map. Let me get rid of the ambience.
Throughout the journey, I continue with like general chatter.
Hold up. That was that all. Okay, so that's not correct. I think this is the correct one. Yeah, there we go. So you arrive in town and it's pretty pleasant there. Well, let me... Okay, we're on the world map. Okay, so we're here. So you just exit the tunnel like you weren't just underground for days on it. And it's...
Ooh, lovely.
So you It's pretty nice up here, but you notice that there's a very distinct lack of other races. I mean, like, it's purely black dragons in your area around you.
Wouldn't expect anything else.
So you exit the tunnel, and what is the people's opinion? They're like, it's almost like a spectacle. It's like, you know, it's been a while since they've seen anyone that's not a black dragon. So, like, you see people, they're trying to hurry along, but some of them are taking some, like, languid time to stop and look. So, like, they're leading you across the square, which is rather... Are you guys paying attention to half of what is around you?
Nope.
So, no, so you're too busy just thinking tactically. It's like, alright, shits might go down, so we better get tactically prepared in case we need to fight our way out.
Nah, Annabelle's just talking to the guard too much.
Okay, what is she talking to him about?
General chatter. Just like, oh, you have a lovely town here.
Okay, so... What you do notice is, Sains, do a D100. Is that your recon reports are not being disproven. I mean, like, you're seeing well over, like, thousands of people in this place. And most of them are guards. Like, you do see that. Some of them are well armored. So, that thing where it's like 2,500 on the walls, you have a feeling that it was true. But you also have a feeling that it might be double that. Because there's a lot of people in this town. There's at least, like, you have a rough estimate, no. So you can't even count how many there are, but you can tell that it's in the thousands.
If every single time the guard changes, there are at least 2,500 on the walls. That means there are at least 5,000 inside of the city.
That's assuming. That's like, you can't get an accurate estimate. That's an estimate. You don't know if that's the actual fact.
I asked the guard that I'm talking.
There could be more than that. There could be far more if they could keep that rotation.
I asked the guard that I'm talking to, so how do you get so many people to serve?
It's like, because it's part of our culture. Everyone serves in the military. Everyone needs to learn how to defend themselves. And he's like passing by. There's, you can tell that the ones that are at the gate, their armor is far more ornate. And they're like radiating energy.
Ooh, what are those?
There's quite a, and they're like, as soon as they see you pass, they're like standing at attention, just almost formatted or formally. So, and you're walking towards the central keep, which is, you can tell the walls on the outside pale in comparison to these ones. Like, these ones look much thicker, and you're walking through feet of wall to get inside the castle.
How long did it take to...
You get an estimate of how many feet are in the wall.
How long did it take to build this place?
It's like a very long time. A couple thousand years. A lot of lifetimes of dragons. A lot of generations. This city has been around since, like, he's pretty much telling you the whole thing. It's like, you know, the city's been around since the fall of the Black Dragons. And has thrived ever since.
Doesn't seem like you fell too far.
Yeah, so... It's like, so I'll wait for the dice roll. It'll come up eventually.
91.
Well, it's like our people have been led by the Great Black Dragon ever since. He would not let such a land fall.
That's very good.
So you're being led into a giant circular chamber, and in the center is exactly who they were talking about.
Whoa.
So, like, he's just kind of, like, he was looking away, he was kind of lying down, and he was talking to a bunch of dragons, but, like, next to him. Speaking of which... So... You see that one of them is, definitely, he's got the armor of a guard, but he's much larger than a guard.
I point at him.
Like, he's got, like, he's pretty, like, his face is flat, and he's got, like, a bull neck to him, like, he's just overflowing with muscle.
I point to the big guy and say, "Who on earth is that?"
Yeah. It's like, and he kind of smiles at you, and it's like, that would be Captain Shun. No, are you talking of that? He points to the, which one did you point at?
The big one.
Yeah, the big guy? That would be, he kind of smiles like, that would be Captain Shun. So you see another large one. He looks more like ornate and magician-like.
And
you see that he's the black dragon. They're talking in Draconic. You guys understand? They're Draconic. Their Draconic is an ancient dialect.
Nope.
So no, he's speaking in a Draconic dialect that hasn't been spoken by certain dragons for thousands of years. So he's a very old dragon. So like they all drop to like a knee, and then they rise. They drop to a knee and bow their heads, and then they rise almost instantly.
I do the same.
It's like, do you guys all do that?
I drop to a knee and I'd like really try to get back up, but I'm struggling.
Yeah. So she does the same, and she's the one who's helping them. So like they both, like everyone, all the larger dragons, they kind of nod. It's like, respecting our customs. Very polite of you. Very political. And this is like the larger one talking. It's like, if you're no doubt aware, I am Captain Shu. That you were allowed to enter our city without being killed on sight was by my order. So, and like the other one is like, are you sure it was such a wise idea, Captain? I mean, this does not look like the one that you claim. It's like, and so he walks in front of Sains and he picks you up and he looks at you. He brings you to face level. And it's like, you are Sains, are you not?
I am.
And it's like, and he looks to the wizard, like he's still holding you in front of him, and he's like, then he is the one we're looking for. And so he just puts you down almost casually. And so like he points to the guard, or he nods to the guards. It's like, your duty is done. Take a day's rest and then return to your posts.
I wave.
And the guards all nod as one, and they all start walking.
I wave to the guy that I was talking to.
Does he wave back? Yeah, he kind of like, he casually waves back, and then he just goes back to being in formation.
I whisper to Chi. I think I made a friend.
Say what?
I whisper to Chi. I think I made a friend.
Okay. It's like, so, and see, he looks at you, it's like, so's hoping. Okay, so, and then, so like they step aside, and then the larger black dragon just rears up, and he starts like moving forward so he can get a good eye view of everyone. So what, you go in a line? I guess. So, and he looks down at you all, and he's not really saying anything. He's just observing you. Do a D100. What do you smell? Do you smell anything? So, you don't smell anything. Annabelle, what you pick up is like age, or rather just old earth. Like this dragon has been, like its skin has been around, like it's starting to mottle and become just greenish. It's shed its skin 100 times over, and although it smells musty and old, it doesn't smell new. And it's also smelling you guys, it's breathing you in, and then it kind of nods its head. That's like, and then it looks directly at Sans, it's like, so, you are the child.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And it's like, so he's nodding his head, and he's putting his head left and right just to look at all his captains. And then he kind of does a slight nod, and the captains move forward. They move to the side, and it's there's a lot you don't know about your mother. From the sound of it, you've heard little bits and pieces from here and there. At least that's what our scouts have decided to tell us. So, it's like, and from the reports, we've lost a lot of scouts to you, many of which went renegade.
Well, all of them tried to kill me, so...
It's like, disturbing. So, and so like the black, he looks at the black dragon, who also gives a slight nod. It's, not everyone believes in you. Not everyone believes that you are the heir to this. So he looks at, he's like pointing at all the city.
Wait, what?
It's like, and not even us believe that. So you're like, wait, what? It's like, don't you know? Have you not been told?
Nobody has told me anything about this.
And so, like, the wizard's like, you are the son and rightful heir to the house of the Black Dragons. You are of noble blood. You should heir to the throne of this city.
I sort of whisper under my breath, why does everyone I go around with end up being a noble?
Why?
So he's like, because your mother was a noble, and despite everything that has happened, she remains a noble. And so, since you are her son, that means rightfully the house belongs to you.
But why didn't they tell me then?
Okay. It's like, the captain's like, they probably because they were trying to protect you. If you were ignorant of the fact, maybe the assassins wouldn't have come. But I guess they were wrong in that statement. The assassins did come, and they did try to kill you. That's you, and so like you see he's got a wicked grin, and he slaps you on the back. Do you have enough resistance to? Okay, so he slaps you on the back. It's really hard. I mean, like you feel like your whole skeleton's been jarred inside of your frame with such as his strength. And it's like, but you held out, which means you're worth more than just a noble birth. And it's like, but then our question. So the magician's like, but then our question remains: is that what you wish? And it's like, and so he looks at you. It's like, I can see this can be a hard decision to come by. We'll give you a few days to think it over.
My reaction to that is, I could say yes, but I don't know most of your culture, so I have a lot to learn before I even can.
It's like it's like so he looks at you, and it's like, then we'll have to find someone to teach you a little bit more of our culture before we say yes. Also,
please do that.
So he like he gives a nod, and he gives a nod to the captain, and the captain looks at the large black dragon, and even the black dragon gives a slight nod. It's like, that's like, but do be warned. The path you walk may not be the one that will be accepted by the people. I mean, for instance, and he's kind of lifting your arm up. This is the magician. He's lifting your arm up. It's like, if, for instance, you do not wear the mantle of Black Dragon, you wear the mantle of your father, the Blue Dragon.
Well, that's because I was sort of forced to expel the Black Dragon side.
It's like, by whom? And it's like, so, and then the captain's like, I can assume whom. Said. So, it was the traitorous crew, wasn't it?
I don't know what to believe anymore. But yes.
It's like, yes, there's a lot you probably were deceived into thinking. So, and he kind of, the captain chuckles to himself. It's like, and after all these years, I thought that old dragon would just keel over and die out in the wilderness. That he's still around just means that he's more resourceful than we took him for.
There was one time I saved him from Black Dragons.
Yeah. It's like, do you know how many lives he ended on the day that he decided to turn against his own?
Probably a lot.
So, it's like, well, there's a reason he's called a betrayer. It's because it was him that put us near extinction. Wiping out almost every black dragon in the region. For what? The loss of one soldier? The loss of one... it's like, even though it was your father, which we greatly respected, that didn't justify him almost murdering our entire race. It's like, and he does a cynical chuckle, and it's like, but the irony is his legacy is being forgotten. We are thriving, we are prospering, and the damage is being undone. So in the end, it really doesn't matter. His mark on history is next to nothing.
Well, that's a good thing.
It's like, but we can never forgive him for what he has done. Until we ourselves die out, and maybe no one will remember. Then maybe he So, and he like laughs out loud. It's like, maybe he will be the one that remains, and we will be the ones that pass on.
Most likely. He's a chrono dragon. He uses only chrono magic.
Yeah. So that arrests his attention. It's like, say that again?
He uses chrono magic.
So, and like he looks at the magician, and the magician looks back at him. It's like, so it's true then. So, it's like we've been given reports that he had gone into chronomancy. That he's such a practitioner means that he's gone to it at least an advanced stage. That would explain why he hasn't aged so much. Also, why he's able to stand up so well to all the reconnaissance and things we've sent toward him to find it. It's like, so like they're kind of ignoring you / not. It's like, so they're looking at you and it's like, thank you, that information is very valuable to us. We'll see that you're rewarded for it. So, and you hear kind of a groan behind you. Do you look at where the groan came from?
Yes.
Okay, so you see that the black dragon's kind of rearing up. It's looking at you again. And it's kind of like its head is flat on the ground. And it's kind of tilting its head to the side just to kind of... It's kind of trying to... It's smelling you and it's trying to get like a... Okay, yeah, you have the whiskey. Yeah, that's everybody's not like everyone's focused on Sam. They didn't even notice that. So like it tilts its head to the side. And you see its tongue coming out, and then it licks your body. So, and then it just tilts its head to the other side, and remember its head is like flopping on the ground. So,
well.
So, and you see that, like, and then it just turns around. It just goes and it starts to trundle back the other way. And so, do you feel any different, D100?
Apparently not.
So you don't feel any different. So it's like, you know, so like, they're both, it's like, it's not every day that, that our great father decides to grace anyone with his presence. But I guess he favors you highly. And it's like, and the captain's like, of course, he's the heir to the noble houses. Why wouldn't the Black Drake favor him highly? It's like, so... And so the captain, like the magician nods and the captain just starts trundling off out the door. And he kind of takes up his position. Like they don't really go that far. They're just like right there in the courtyard. And you're left with the magician who's like, it's like, you will probably remain here for a few weeks. I can arrange that your friends are given leave to go back home, but maybe they might want to learn everything here as well.
Is there, by any chance, a person called Bay here?
And it's like, oh, you mean the Red Dragon? Yes, we have seen her around.
I immediately stand
Like,
up.
why do you ask? Say what?
I immediately stand up.
Okay, so...
Because there is a friend.
And so he smiles, it's like, yes, we knew you were faking. We just wondered how long you would be faking for.
Well, it's just because a friend of mine asked me to destroy something in his chamber and it wasn't there anymore. Not
And
science.
it's like, if you're talking about the research on how to breed proper dragons, then I would assume that that is what you propose, of destroying that research?
I didn't propose anything, he proposed it. But yes.
So, well, he is a fool to think so. It just needed the right hands. So, it's like, but I have to admit, this Arrow knew what he was talking about. He knows much of dragon lore, and he knows much of our customs.
He's dead, sadly.
It's like, yes, we are aware of such. I mean, this pay you speak of came seek an audience with the Black Dragon, which he granted. And I guess the information has been passed to us. But we haven't seen her since. I mean, she left, and I don't know where she may have gone. She may still be within the city. I mean, we didn't see her leave, nor have we had any guards check in to see if she has left. She may still be here.
Well,
would you like me to go find her?
I don't really know. For me, it doesn't have to be. Maybe Annabelle wants to see her.
It's like, very well.
Maybe Annabelle wants to see her. I don't know.
Okay, so Annabelle, do you want him to pay for you?
I think I can find her on my own, hopefully.
Yeah, so you guys are gonna look for pay in the city and see if she's in the city. Alright, so I was like, well, you are supremely blessed. It seems like it's been a while since we've used the royal quarters here in the palace, so please, this way. And so he's like, he's a big dragon. I mean, he's got a massive two-handed sword that he wields like a one-hander.
Wow.
So he's a pretty, these dragons are bred to be very large and very powerful. So he doesn't wear armor, but you can tell that his skin would be enough to dissuade a blade or a blunt weapon. So I was like, I'm afraid it's not much. But you can tell when he says not much, that is a supreme understatement. I mean, like, there's a bed that looks like it could seat, you could have 10 people lie into that bed, one bed there. There's a massive dining table spread, and there's like a bunch of food, and you can tell that some of it is food that you have grown, some of it is food that is grown in other exotic, like there's exotic foods on the table. This is lap of luxury style, like, not you, I'm afraid this is all we have is a supreme understatement.
I'm used to this, so...
I look at the table and say, it's not even Macedonian.
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm used to worse than this. So...
It's like, yes, I assume so. I mean, you can only afford so much outside of these walls. It's like, so anyway, and then, like, he walks over to the wall and he presses a couple dials. Like, he pulls some things and you see, like, things are starting to shift in the room. Where, let's see, do a D100, what type of technology are we looking at? So he's pulling out things like, it's pretty much the bathroom is hidden from prying eyes, and it's within the same wall. It's like, this is the bathroom chain. Basically, it rises out of the floor. And it's like a circular box that you just did. And he opens it, and it looks pretty luxurious in there, even though it's like, are we talking like gold? We are talking gold-plated. Or at least a fine metal.
You are saying this...
Marble sinks, this is like high luxury. It's like, this is where you go to do your bathroom needs. It took us a while to get this mechanism to work and actually not get stuck from downwards. It's, I guess this was, let's see, he's looking through his notes. It's like, I guess this was commissioned by your parents before they decided to pass on.
Well, they didn't really have a choice, as far as I'm told.
It's like, yes, I've heard of the tragedy. Such a shame. We did our best to mourn them, but, I mean, it was a great loss, and you were even a greater loss. But now, it's like, and like he walks up to you and he puts a hand on his shoulder, but look, now you're back. Now you can continue their legacy. Aren't you proud of that?
I'm not sure what to think.
So, it's like, well, it's a lot to take in, so I'll give you a few days to think about it. So there's no rush, I guarantee.
What is your name, if I might ask?
So it's like, my name is not important. You'll learn it over time. We just met after all. It's like, well, get some rest, enjoy your quarters for now, but tomorrow will be a new day, and there's much for you to learn. So with that, he simply just walks out the door. And the door's more like castle gates. They're not really there, but they're light enough where anybody can open them. So it's big enough for a dragon like him to get out. but it's like you're right next to your quarters is right next to where the black dragon is. So it's like you are. Do you have windows? Do you actually have windows?
Nope.
It would be so you have little slits that let light in, but not so much windows outward, because the black dragon doesn't like to be disturbed all the time. He doesn't like being looked at like a spectacle. So he didn't. There's no windows on it. So what is your opinion of this new place? So you're pretty much in a lap of luxury. You had no idea any of this would happen.
Well, things went better than expected.
Okay, so you're not dead. That's good. You're the heir to the throne. You're the heir to the nobility, but you may have a danger there, because such a thing would mean that you'd have to give up adventuring to manage the noble house. And there's your problem. It's like, what do you choose? Do you choose to settle down in such a cushy life now, or do you choose to deny that and move on? So, also it's kind of like, she's wary of this. It's like, there's something going amiss here. So, like, she's going to be at the table because this is a good meal and you need to fill up on energy and stuff. It's like, something's amiss here. They invited us in a little bit too easily. I have a bad feeling about this place. So, it may be just bias, it may be just paranoia, but something tells me we need to be on guard here.
Until otherwise proven, I'm always on guard.
Yeah, so...
1 second.
It's like, just think of our situation. We are surrounded wall to wall with Black Dragon soldiers. And are you sure all of them will remain loyal?
I don't think so.
I think there will be a few traitors among the midst, so we need to be on guard.
1 second, I'll do my unholy echolocation.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Seeing if there's anything specifically, like, bad magic.
Yeah, that's the problem, is everything in the city has an affinity for the unholy magics. For dark magic. So... You feel that, the city's just one large mass of dark magical energy, but you can see that it's got sort of a... It's channeled within everyone. Like, every black dragon you walk by has at least a minor aspect of dark magic within them. So, yeah, so that's the most you can pick up that there are... do you feel anything that's out of the ordinary, though? That's the question you asked. So... You're starting to feel that, although it's all dark magic, you are starting to feel that there are some pinpricks of different magics. Can you put your thumb on what they are? Okay, roll the d5. So,
but one be
besides the dark arts, you feel like there's definitely some water magic in here, and it's not coming from Sains. So, do you have a direct location? Like, can you at least kind of focus on, okay, so when the time comes, you can focus on where it's coming from.